Hi everyone, I am Brinda Kansara and I read Percy Jackson books for now. Then later I will read other books as well. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let's get started with the next chapter that I promised in the previous video. Chapter 8, I Make a Dangerous Promise. Blackjack gave me a ride down the beach, and I have to admit it was cool. Being on a flying horse, skimming over the waves at 100 miles an hour, with the wind in my hair and the sea spray in my face. Hey, it beats water skiing any day. Here, Blackjack slowed and turned in a circle, straight down. Thanks. I tumbled off his back and plunged into the icy sea. I'd got more comfortable doing stunts like that the past couple of years. I could pretty much move however I wanted to underwater just by willing the ocean currents to change around me and propel me along. I could breathe underwater no problem, and my clothes never got wet unless I wanted them to. I shot down into the darkness. 8, 10, 12 meters. The pressure wasn't uncomfortable. I'd never tried to push it to see if there was a limit on how deep I could dive. I knew most regular humans couldn't go past 65 meters without crumpling like a tin can. I should have been blind too, this deep in the water at night, but I could see the heat from the living forms and cold of the currents. It's hard to describe. It wasn't like regular seeing, but I could tell where everything was. As I got closer to the bottom, I saw three hippocampi, fish tailed horses, swimming in a circle round an overturned boat. The hippocampi were beautiful to watch. Their fish tails shimmered in rainbow colors, glowing phosphorescent. Their manes were white and they were galloping around the water the way nervous horses do in thunderstorm. Something was upsetting them. I got closer and saw the problem. A dark shape, some kind of animal, was wedged halfway under the boat and tangled in a fish net, one of those big nets they use on trawlers to catch everything at once. I hated those things. It was bad enough they drowned porpoises and dolphins, but they also occasionally caught mythological animals. When the nets got tangled, some lazy fishermen would just cut them loose and let the trapped animals die. Apparently, this poor creature had been mucking around in the bottom of the Long Island Sound and had somehow got itself tangled in the net of this sunken fishing boat. It had tried to get out and managed to get even more hopelessly stuck, shifting the boat in the process. Now the wreckage of the hull, which was resting against a big rock, was teetering and threatening to collapse on top of the tangled animal. The hippocampi was swimming around frantically, wanting to help but not sure how. One was trying to chew the net, but hippocampi teeth just aren't meant for cutting ropes. Hippocampi are really strong, but they don't have hands and they're not all that smart. Free it, Lord, a hippocampus said when it saw me. The others joined in, asking the same. I swam in for a closer look at the tangled creature. At first, I thought it was a young hippocampus. I'd rescued several of them before, but when I heard a strange sound, something that did not belong underwater, moo, I got next to the thing and saw it was a cow. Uh, I mean, I'd heard of sea cows or like manatees and stuff, but this really was a cow with a back end of a serpent. And front half was a calf, a baby, with black fur and big sad brown eyes and white muzzle, and its back half was black and brown snaky tail with fins running around the top and bottom like an enormous eel. Whoa, little one, where did you come from? The creature looked at me sadly. Moo. I couldn't understand its thoughts. Only speak horse. We don't know what it is, Lord, one of the hippocampus said. Many strange things are stirring. Yeah, so I've heard. I murmured. I uncapped Riptide and the sword grew a full length in my hand, its bronze blade gleaming in the dark. The cow serpent freaked out and started struggling against the net, its eyes full of terror. Whoa, I'm not going to hurt you, just let me cut the net. But the cow serpent thrashed around and got even more tangled. The boat started to tilt, stirring up the muck on the sea bottom and threatening to topple into the cow serpent. The hippocampi whined in a panic and thrashed in water, which didn't help. Okay, okay, I said. I put away the sword and started speaking as calmly as I could so the hippocampi and the cow serpent would stop panicking. I didn't know if it was a possible to get stampeded underwater, but I didn't really want to find out. It's cool, no sword. See? No sword. Calm thoughts. Seagrass, mama cows, vegetarianism. I doubted the cow serpent understood what I was saying, but it responded to the tone of my voice. The hippocampi were still skittish, but they stopped swirling around me quite so fast. Free it, Lord, they pleaded. Yeah, I got that part. I'm thinking. But how could I free cow serpent when she, I decided it was probably a she, panicked at the sight of a blade? It was like she'd seen sword before and knew how dangerous they were. All right, I told the hippocampi. I need all of you to push exactly the way I tell you. First we started with the boat. It wasn't easy, but with the strength of 3 horsepower, we managed to shift the wreckage so it was no longer threatening to collapse on the baby cow serpent. Then I went to work on the net, tangling it section by section, getting lead weights and fishing hooks straightened out, yanking out knots round the serpent's hooves. It took forever. I mean, it was worse than the time I'd had to untangle all my video game controller wires. The whole time I kept talking to Cowfish, telling her everything was okay while she mooed and moaned. It's okay, Bessie, I said. Don't ask me why I started calling her that. It just seemed like a good cow name. Good cow. Nice cow. Finally, the net came off and the cow serpent zipped through the water and did a happy somersault. The hippocampi whined with joy. Thank you, Lord. The, Moo. The cow serpent nuzzled me and gave me the big brown eyes. Yeah, that's okay. Nice cow. Well, stay out of trouble. Which reminded me, I'd been underwater how long? An hour at least. I had to get back at my cabin before Argus or the harpies discovered I was breaking curfew. I shot to the surface and broke through. Immediately, Blackjack zoomed down and let me catch hold of its neck. He lifted me into the air and took me back towards the shore. Success, boss? Yeah, we rescued a baby, something or other. Took forever. Almost got stampeded. Good deeds are always dangerous, boss. You saved my sorry mane, didn't you? I couldn't help thinking about Annabeth in my dream, crumpled and lifeless in Luke's arms. Here I was rescuing baby monsters, and I couldn't save my friend. As Blackjack flew back towards my cabin, I happened to glance at the dining pavilion. I saw a figure, a boy hunkered down behind a Greek column, like he was hiding from someone. It was Nico, but it wasn't even dawn yet. Nowhere near time for breakfast. What was he doing up there? I hesitated. The last thing I wanted was more time for Nico to tell me about his mythomagic game. But something was wrong. I could tell by the way he was crouching. Blackjack, set me down over there, will you? Behind the column. I almost blew it. I was coming up behind steps. I was coming up the steps behind Nico. He didn't see me at all. He was behind a column, peeking around the corner, all his attention focused on the dining area. I was 2 meters away from him, and I was about to say, "What are you doing?" really loud when it occurred to me that he was pulling a Grover. He was spying on the hunters. I don't think Grover would approve you saying like that, Percy. There were voices, two girls talking at one of the dining table. At this ungodly hour in the morning? Well, unless you're the goddess of dawn, I guess. I took Annabeth's cap out of my pocket and put it on. I didn't feel any different, but when I raised my arms, I couldn't see them. I was invisible. I crept to Nico and sneaked around him. I couldn't see the girls very well in the dark, but I knew their voices, Zoe and Bianca. It sounded like they were arguing. "It cannot be cured," Zoe was saying. "Not quickly at any rate." "But how did it happen?" Bianca asked. "A foolish prank. Those tall boys from the Hermes cabin. Centaur blood is like acid. Everyone knows that. They sprayed the inside of Artemis hunting tour t-shirt with it. That's terrible. She will live, but she'll be bedridden for weeks with horrible hives. There is no way she can go. It's up to me and thee." "But the prophecy. And if Phoebe can't go, we only have four. We'll have to pick another. There is no time. We must leave at first. Light. That's immediately. Besides, the prophecy said we would lose one. In the land without rain. But that can't be here." "It might be," Zoe said, though she didn't sound convinced. "The camp has magic borders. Nothing, not even weather, is allowed in without permission. It could be a land without rain. But Bianca, hear me." Zoe's voice was restrained. I I can't explain, but I have a sense that we should not pick someone else. It would be too dangerous. They would meet and end worse than Phoebe's. I don't want Chiron choosing a camper as our fifth camp companion, and I don't want to risk another hunter. Bianca was silent. "You should tell Thalia the rest of your dream." "No, it would not help." "But if your suspicion is correct about the general, I have thy word not to talk about that," Zoe said. She sounded really anguished. "We will find out soon enough. Now come. Dawn is breaking." Nico scooted out of their way. He was faster than me. As the girls sprinted down the steps, Zoe almost ran into me. She froze, her eyes narrowing. Her hand crept towards her bow. But then Bianca said, "The lights of the big house are on. Hurry." Zoe followed her out of the pavilion. I could tell that what Nico was thinking. He took a deep breath and was about to run after his sister when I took off the invisibility cap and said, "Wait." He almost slipped on the icy steps as he spun around to find me. "Where did you come from?" "I've been here the whole time. Invisible." "Wow. Cool." He mouthed the word invisible. "How did you know Zoe and your sister were here?" He blushed. "I heard them walk by the Hermes cabin. I don't I don't sleep too well at the camp. So I heard footsteps and them whispering, and so I kind of followed. And now you're thinking about following them in the quest," I guessed. "How did you know that?" "Because if it was my sister, I'd probably be thinking the same thing. But you can't." "Because I'm too young?" He looked defiant. "Because they won't let you. They'll catch you and send you back here. And yeah, because you're too young. You remember the Manticore? There will be lots more like that. More dangerous. Some of the heroes will die." His shoulders sagged. He shifted from foot to foot. "Maybe you're right, but you can go for me." "Say what?" "You can turn invisible. You can go." "The hunters don't like boys," I reminded him. "If they find out." "Don't let them find out. Follow them invisibly. Keep an eye on my sister. You have to. Please." "Nico, you're planning to go anyway, aren't you?" I wanted to say no, but he looked at me in the eyes and I somehow couldn't lie to him. "Nico, you smart little child." "Yeah," I said. I have to find Annabeth. I have to help even if they don't want me to. I won't tell on you, but you have to promise to keep my sister safe. I. That's a big thing to promise, Nico, on a trip like this. Besides, she's got Zoe, Grover, and Thalia. Promise, he insisted. I'll do my best. I promise that. Get going then. Good luck, he said. It was crazy. I wasn't packed. I had nothing but the cap and the sword and the clothes I was wearing. I was supposed to be going home to Manhattan this morning. Tell Chiron I'll make something up. I'm good at that. Go on. Nico smiled crookedly. I ran putting on Annabeth's cap. As the sun came up, I turned invisible. I hit the top of the Half Blood Hill in time to see Camp Swen disappearing down the farm road, probably Argus taking them to the quest group into the city. After that, they would be on their own. I felt a twinge of guilt and stupidity too. How was I supposed to keep up with them? Run? Then I heard the beating of huge wings. Blackjack landed next to me. He began casually nuzzling a few tufts of grass and stuck through the ice. If I was guessing, boss, I'd say you need a getaway horse. You interested? A lump of gratitude stuck in my throat, but I managed to say, yeah, let's fly. I'm in a getaway car. Sorry, it fed me. The getaway horse. It's right there. How was I not supposed to think of Taylor Swift's song? Anyway, so this was a fun short chapter. I could have continued in the other video, but never mind. This was a cute short chapter, and now that the quest is beginning, I don't think I can handle it anymore. I really do desperately want to find who live and who die. So there is a high chance that I might go online and spoil myself for that. But then again, we are not so sure, so I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye.